From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Washington, D.C. is one of the world's most important cities. Here the future of America is decided. But who makes these decisions? The President? Congress? Some believe there is a force behind the throne of elected office, one with international reach and none of the rules constraining public officials, the Brotherhood of Free and Accepted Masons. Could Freemasons really control Washington? How do we know? Here are the facts. No one knows when the Freemasons originally formed, but the group rose to prominence in the 17th century, making it older than the United States. This secretive organization places great power in ancient imagery. Their traditions are steeped in symbolism, but no outside observers know what these symbols represent or what kind of power the images are supposed to have. Over the centuries, Freemasonry expanded from England to countries across the globe. Today, there are more than 6 million Masons worldwide. In the US, Freemasonry continues the same secret tradition as its European founders, and the leaders of US Masonry congregate in Washington, D.C., where some researchers say they've etched their strange obsession with symbols onto the city streets. Washington, D.C. was founded on July 16, 1790, and named after George Washington, who was both the nation's first president and a powerful Freemason. Some of the city's designers were also rumored to be Freemasons. But I've been to D.C. It doesn't look that strange. The conservative Greco-Roman buildings seem normal for a nation's capital. When I spent a week in Washington, I didn't notice any signs of masonry, but maybe I should have paid closer attention. To some observers, the city is chock full of Masonic imagery, from the strange statues scattered around the mall to the eerie Washington Monument. Take, for example, the House of the Temple. Located at the heart of D.C. at 16th and S Street, the House of the Temple holds the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, the center of all Masonic activity in North America. The multi-million-dollar building also houses one of the world's most extensive collections of Masonic literature. The Masons present themselves as a service organization, a harmless charity. So why have conspiracy theorists paid so much attention to Freemasonry? And why is a harmless charity based in a top-secret building in the middle of downtown Washington, just walking distance to the National Mall? The National Mall brings us to another oddity, the Washington Monument. As homages go, a statue would suffice. Why reproduce an ancient Egyptian artifact? Here's where it gets crazy. The Washington Monument is actually an obelisk, a type of magical symbol found in Egypt, the Middle East, and Asia. Some sources believe the Washington obelisk rests upon a ley line. These ley lines are invisible, mystical currents of energy that span the globe, connecting ancient sites of power like Stonehenge and Incan temples. Ley line theorists believe this energy can be used to cause hallucinations or natural disasters, such as earthquakes and magnetic anomalies. The location of the Washington Monument may allow its controllers to harness this natural energy for their own purposes, whatever those may be. And why is our Department of Defense based in a Pentagon? Speculation varies. Some anti-Mason activists believe the Pentagon is built to replicate earlier structures built by the Knights Templar, one of history's most successful secret societies and the world's first international bankers. Others think the shape of the Pentagon creates a reservoir of energy from the ley lines, giving Washington's rulers a way to store the harnessed potential. Think of it as a gigantic battery, slowly building up a charge. These buildings are strange, but architecture doesn't necessarily mean a secret society controls Washington. It's a bit of a leap in logic. What about the geography? Some believe the geography of Washington mimics important occult and Masonic symbols. The bizarre street layout traces acute angles rather than grids. This might look normal on the ground, but if we view the city from the air, things get strange. From overhead, the layout bears an eerie resemblance to a pentagram, a symbol commonly associated with ancient Greeks, Gnostic Christianity, and black magic. Fringe researchers think DC's street design takes advantage of ley lines to focus this geomantic or earth-based energy on the Capitol and the White House. It reminds me of the Nazca lines, enormous ancient shapes traced in the Peruvian desert. Could they be related? We already know Washington is a town built on secrets. The nation's national security and financial stability rest on the decisions made in the Pentagon and Congress, many of which the average citizen will never witness firsthand. Even the most skeptical observer will note the odd layout of DC's streets and the strange conceits in our national symbols. This is the country that slapped a floating eye and pyramid on our dollars. The eagle was a Masonic symbol before it became our national bird. Looking at the evidence, it's hard to deny that symbols in the US match symbols in Freemasonry. But why? This could all be a coincidence. The imagery could be nothing more than decoration. But if the Masons believe that symbols themselves have powers, then what kind of power are they trying to generate? Is it merely psychological, or could it be something more? Something they don't want you to know.